I've spent the better part of today going about, my business, my normal day, and realizing, of course, because in traveling about today, I've spent a lot of time listening to Sirius satellite radio, some of their NPR channels, some of the debate, also listen to a bit of CNN, although it's getting more and more difficult to do that, about the decision or decisions that Barack Obama is going to be making here in the next 3 weeks. In addition, this issue of The Nation arrived in my mailbox today, so their lead editorial, which I'll be sharing with you here a little bit later, also focused on this question of what to do about Afghanistan. And in thinking about this today, and spending an awful lot of time thinking about it today, not talking to Kathy about it, not discussing with anybody, not, making a big deal about it, not blogging about it, just thinking about it in my own head, I'm left with something that is fairly shocking to me, I guess shocking in its simplicity. And the question that's been rattling around in my head is, on what moral basis are we involved in Afghanistan? What moral basis? I'm not talking about politics, geopolitics, or globalization or corporatism. I'm just talking about you and me, because it's ultimately going to be our responsibility to pay for it in terms of the people that we send to die, the Americans that we send to die. It is also our responsibility to fully accept the responsibility of waging war against a people who have done nothing to us, and cavalierly referring to their deaths and maimings as collateral damage. If there is not a moral dimension to our continuing occupation and war in Afghanistan, then do we not have to withdraw? Where do we find a moral position for this continuing slaughter in Afghanistan? And the questions that are being raised about not just continuing it, but escalating it. Barack Obama has been pretty much presented with a demand for an additional 40,000 troops, which would bring our commitment to Afghanistan to over 100,000 soldiers. Now, for those of us over a certain age, we've seen this before. We saw this before. And I'll be a son of a bitch if hundreds of thousands of us didn't try to prevent it 40 years ago. Exactly the same thing. Do we never reach a point in this country where we learn by what we have done in the immediate past, where we take a look at the political aspect of an invasion and occupation, the blood aspect, of the killing aspect, and eventually get to the money aspect, the part of this that involves ethical conduct or morality? Do we never do we get to that issue? Are we to never discuss the killing and the invasion and the war making that we're involved in from a moral standpoint? Does it always have to be some sort of geopolitical balance sheet? We all know, those of us who still have a brain left, all know that there is nothing that we are fighting for in Afghanistan that can be reduced or elevated, take your pick, to the rational reasons for a just war. There is nothing there. And the term just war itself is madness. What is a just war? You know, Bush's invasion of this country 8 years ago was an exercise in his idiocy, his incompetence, his inability to see anything other than as a nail, because George W. Bush always saw himself as a hammer. And now we have Barack Obama. And I don't care how much of a blank slate he craftily presented to those of us who supported him. This man has an obligation from a moral standpoint to stop this. I don't give a damn what a Stanley McChrystal says. He is nothing. He's a war lover. I don't care what Eric Cantor says about, well, if the president supports General McChrystal, we'll support him. Cantor, sit down and shut up. You have nothing to say that has any basis in reality. So here, I mean, the list is endless of these war lovers. Cowards all. None of these sons of bitches are ever going to put on a uniform and pick up a weapon and go slog through the mountains of Afghanistan, killing or being killed. It's not going to happen. Where is the morality? That's all. It's a simple question for me. There has to be. You know, I get so sick of listening to these phony-ass religious people. I get tired of the Christians. I get tired of the Jews. I get tired of the Muslims. I am so over all of you with your God justifications for lies and deceit and occupations and murder and mayhem and Nazi-like actions and invasions and bombings and mortarings and killing. Screw you all. I really, truly wish you would go away, but you're not going to, are you? I'd like to hear just one of the war lovers or the war supporters or these great religious freaks with their avatars who talked about peace and love and balance and salvation and redemption and confession and justify this from a moral standpoint. You cannot. You cannot. But some of you will get your bowels in an uproar about a cross sitting in the Mojave Desert someplace on federal land. Oh, well, we're not going to let that come down. But it's in violation of the Constitution. Is it really impossible for this country, the United States of America, any longer, if we ever did, to take a moral position on any issue? I don't care if it's health care or the invasion of another country or supporting the occupation that one country is forcing on another. Whatever the issue is it impossible for us to take a moral stance any longer? Is it?